I'm Dr. Agby Medcalf, and we've been talking this month, well, we meaning me, about how important mindfulness is in our relationships. And if you haven't checked out the last Connection Quickie, you should, because that was about the difference between self awareness and mindfulness. But now that we know what mindfulness is about and why it's so important in your relationship, I want to really get down to the nitty gritty. And that is that, and I say this a lot, that great relationships aren't built in a day. Great relationships are built daily. And the way you do that is by paying attention in your relationship. And you can't pay attention if you're not being mindful. So what happens, we don't realize it, is we're on autopilot so much of the time with our partners at work, everywhere. We're just sort of going, we're already thinking of the next thing, and we're on our phones, and we're talking to someone, and we're doing. There's so much distraction, and distraction is this termites eating at the foundation of your relationship, and you really have to pay attention. The problem is that we forget to pay attention because we're on this autopilot. It's almost like we're sort of sleepwalking through our day. So you got to stop. And to be able to do that, it means you need to be in your moments. And I'll give you a great example. Let's say that, and this happened recently with one of my clients who works from home. He has a business out of his house. And his wife came in and said, he was working on this thing he had to get in. And she said, hey, what time do you want to have dinner? Like, what time should we have dinner? The kids are getting cranky. I've been kind of waiting for you, but I don't know. You haven't come out of your office. And he, without looking at her and like staying on the computer, said, oh, well, I got to get this project done. I got to get this in. I have to get this thing done for this project I'm working on. And she was like, okay, but so does that mean you want us to have dinner without you? Or you want to wait? Like, what are we supposed to do? And he ended up getting annoyed now because she's still asking questions and she's still in there when he said how busy he was. And so he's like, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you exactly how long it's going to be. I guess just have dinner without me. And she said, well, I wish you had told me that 2 hours ago. The kids and I have been waiting, and I've been kind of, we usually have dinner around, I think it's usually around 6, and now it's 7, and I just didn't know. And I wish you had told me. I would have already fed them. And he sort of ended up blowing up at her. And, it's not going any quicker with all these interruptions, and I can't get this done. And she was pissed, going, I just asked you about dinner. This shouldn't have been like this. And meanwhile, he's barely looking from the computer to her. This is where relationships fail. Right there, ladies and gentlemen, right in those pockets. If my client had been mindful, and we talked about this, and he realized the error of his ways, because I said to him, what do you think your wife was going through? She doesn't know everything that's going in your head. You're not sharing all these things. And she's got these 2 kids she's trying to figure out and worry about. She has her own world she's trying to make move. And she was trying to wait on you, and you weren't giving her information, and it's really hard. And she and the kids are disappointed that they're not going to see you. And that's really what a lot of the energy is. And so when we're talking, and we really walked through this, if he had been mindful, think about that. Meaning, if he had been in his moment when his wife walked in the first time, number one, he would have stopped looking at his computer, stopped, and turned like a human, turned, see, you can't see my eyes. I'd be turning over here to the person, and stopping, and then also noticing how anxious he was. When we're mindful, we're very aware in our bodies of like, ooh, my stomach feels a little tight, or my throat feels a little tight, or, ooh, God, I'm actually a little anxious right now, or I'm annoyed, or I'm worried, or whatever it is. And when you know that, you go, whoa, I don't need to be so worried. Why am I so, okay, let's take a step back. We get the wonderfulness about being mindful is we can help ourselves get kind of meta, meaning we can pull back from whatever the thing is. And that really helps us just have a little distance and to act, not react. So in those moments, he could have then said to her, calmly, facing her, could have even said, I'm really sorry. I feel like I've been stringing you along. I apologize. I actually really don't know how long this is going to take. I'm realizing how anxious I am about it. So I haven't been thinking well. So I'm sorry, And, maybe the result would have still been that he wasn't going to have dinner. And maybe the result would have still been that she would have been annoyed that he wasn't having dinner. But the whole argument would not have escalated the way it did. Both parties would not be upset, feeling like they're misunderstood and no one appreciates them. And what could have happened is my client could have said, you know what, let me just take a break. I can only do 20 minutes for dinner, but I'd really like to sit with you and the kids for a minute and just clear my head, and then I'll come back to this. Something like that. There's 100 things that could have happened instead of the fight if you're mindful, if you're aware. And again, those are the things that build your relationship. It's those micro connections. The big things are the big things. We have them all the time. But the little things are, I'm sorry, we don't have the big things all the time. That's the problem. They come and go. You don't buy a house every day. So you and your partner might come together on those things, but that's not what really builds a relationship. It's the micro connections. It's the little things that are happening all day long. And so all those little cuts, we can die by 1,000 cuts in our relationship. So if you're mindful and you're in your moments, you can notice these things. So I've got a great little gift for you, which you can see near the video somewhere around here, which is these just some quick mindful tips. They're like my top three, not my top three, but three to really help you. Actually, maybe they are top three. They're three I suggest a lot to really help you be mindful and to incorporate it quickly and easily into your day in just minutes, because I'm all about that. I know how busy we all are, and we're all trying our best. So that's it for today. Definitely get your download. It's totally free. I'm Dr. Abby Medcalf. I help people create lasting change in their relationships, even if their partner won't do a thing.